Friday. Welcome to another great day. I hope everyone had a great week. I love the start that I had today. I woke up, I was able to get my workout in first thing this morning, which yay is always like my favorite. I always feel like I have a successful day when I get to make that happen. Texas humidity, I did my workout on in our backyard this morning, and holy moly, like wow, I was like drenched from head to toe. Every move was extremely like uncomfortable, which I loved, and we're actually going to speak a little bit more about being uncomfortable soon. But yeah, it was great start to my morning. I was definitely feeling awake after that. But yeah, a little recap of my week since I last spoke with y'all on Monday. Tuesday was a great day. Wednesday, Thursday, I spent half of my time here at home, and then the other half in San Antonio. I just made a quick trip down real quick to go see my girl Maria. Ladies, hello. If you live in Texas or anywhere where there's a lot of humidity, or if you just have frizzy hair and you want to save yourself some stress and time every day, I recommend keratin treatments or a Brazilian blowout. This is my hair after I showered this morning and blow dried it. I have not straightened it. I don't need to anymore. I was on top of my keratin treatments for like 3 years consistently after I found out about them, and then I dropped the ball for like a year, missed them that entire year, and I'm back on them. And they are worth every penny. I'm not even kidding, ladies. Like I said, I have saved so much time today getting ready, because all I had to do was blow dry my hair. And even if I didn't blow dry my hair, it would still be like this. Like normally, without a keratin treatment or a Brazilian blowout, my hair, puffs out a little bit, especially here in Texas. But with it, it's just so manageable and it feels good. And look at it. You can't even tell that I live in a humid city or environment, because yeah, the treatment's doing its thing. So thank you, Maria, for taking the time to help me out. I appreciate you very much. But yeah, while I was there in San Antonio very shortly, I was able to have dinner with both of my brothers, which was so much fun. It's always like super rare where it's just us three siblings together at the same place at the same time. And so we had a nice, little dinner at one of my favorite spots, Palenque Grill, yum yum. And just catching up with them was great. They're just a ride. They are so much fun to be around. Keeping up with them is intense. They are so much fun. I have to now I know for the next time, golly, I'm a little off on my game. I need to be better, But yeah, so that was a great time. Much love to both of those guys. But yeah, it has been a great week. Like I said a few seconds ago, today I wanted to focus on being uncomfortable, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Actually, real quick, let's back up or rewind for a quick second. Today I was supposed to sit down with Max Kupitz, but life happens, and so we rescheduled again. So hopefully we will be seeing him on Monday. I don't doubt it. He doesn't let me down. He's a man of his word. So yeah, we were able to come to an agreement that we will get together on Monday. It's just he's crushing what he does out here. He's out here focused and killing the game. Yeah, so proud of you, Max. I love you, Max. I'm excited for you guys to meet Max. I was looking forward to today so much. But yeah, things come up and we just had to reschedule. That's okay. So actually I just hung up with him right before I started this video, and he's feeling good. He's out there, like I said, doing his job. Absolutely just a stud. So go Max! But yeah, this guy is incredible. Like I said, one of the things that one of the things that I want him to focus on Monday when y'all meet him is just his confidence and how he's developed it, and how much of because he believes in everything that he does so well, and because he honestly doesn't give any fucks about anything. He is one of the most honest, transparent people I know. Like with Max, you get what you see, and I love that about him so much. But yeah, there's a lot. I've learned a lot just from being around him, and I'm very happy and blessed to be able to call him one of my good friends. So much love to you, Max. And like I said, I'm excited for y'all to get to meet him on Monday. But yeah, let's talk about being comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And this idea or that, yeah, I guess topic came to mind because it is one of those things that is, yeah, I'm surrounded by daily. It is something that, reflecting on that my parents did their best to instill in us. And I can easily think of 1,000 examples, but if I had to put them all in one, so y'all heard my story about how growing up, I never went to the school I was supposed to go to, like my home school, right? I was always at somewhere else. Like I was supposed to go to this elementary, but I went to this elementary. I was supposed to, my home school, middle school was this middle school, but my mom encouraged me to, or my parents encouraged me to apply to that middle school, and then I was supposed to go to that high school, but again, we saw better opportunities at this high school. So, growing up my whole life, I was always pushed out of my comfort zone because of opportunities that were out there and my family, encouraging me to chase after them just so I could, have the best upbringing that I could and be surrounded by the best environment that we thought at the time was good for me. So it was as a kid, you trust your parents. And so I remember filling out these applications or having to ask for materials. And there were times when I would, ask my parents, can you reach out to this person for me and get this information? And their response to me would be, you can do that. You call that person, what's the worst they're going to say is no. And so learning to get out of your comfort zone at a young age was really powerful. When you're a kid, you're such a sponge. And so you don't overthink it. You're just okay, you just trust your parents because they have your best interest in mind. So when my mom or dad would say, you do it, you call them. My initial thought back then would be I would be a little nervous because I'm having to communicate with adults and I was just a kid, but it was great learning experiences for me. And it was that practice that when I was surrounded by adults as a child, that I wasn't intimidated by them, or I wasn't uncomfortable around them, even though a lot of people might be, or other kids my age might be, just because they haven't had that experience yet. And so I appreciate my parents encouraging me at such a young age to practice that. And then again, like I said, every time I went to a new school, it was me leaving my friends behind and everything that I knew and was comfortable with in that moment. And so the first day of school at each of those stages was always, or the first week really was always uncomfortable. And it was learning to find a new space to be comfortable in. But the whole time, what I love, like I said, it was, hey, you're going to have to make new friends and you're going to be okay. You're going to, have to figure things out on your own and you're going to be okay. You're going to do all these things initially on your own, but you're going to figure it out and you're going to be okay. And so just having that mentality and not overthinking it and just knowing ultimately that I was going to be okay. And look, I ended up being okay. I survived all those experiences, all those years. And it did, because my parents encouraged me to go, to all these new places all the time and schools and meet new people and speak with people that were older than me. I was able to develop this confidence that I have till this day. I was actually, my friends and I in middle school were nicknamed, by our teachers. They loved us. They absolutely loved us because my friends and I, back then, we all kind of had the same personality. We were really, my mom raised me to be really outgoing because she wanted us to, learn to speak and not just depend on them to do everything for us. No, you're gonna be okay. And so, you don't see that a lot, especially in kids or in young teenagers. You see parents typically doing a lot for their children. And so, since me and my friends, our parents kind of had the same mentality of encouraging us to go out there and figure things out for ourselves. We were loud. I'm already a loud person, but we were even louder because we were excited. We'd go down the hallways as if we owned the whole school, and we weren't afraid to talk to anyone because we had been, doing it for but we felt like it was forever. And so, yeah, I love that when I like you reflect on, life and, just realizing that being raised with a family who encouraged us to live life outside of our comfort zones is incredible. And I want to do the same thing with my children. Yes, they will be raised. I can't wait to raise them and be there for them. At the end of the day, I want them to know that I will be here for you at the end of the day, no matter what. But ultimately, it's almost like learning how to swim. I'm gonna throw you in the water and you're gonna figure it out. I believe in you. I know you will figure it out. But yeah, this job, for instance, that Spencer does for a living, that I did for a little bit last year, a lot of the decisions that I've made, playing sports growing up, there's always been periods of time in my life where I have not been comfortable. I had to get comfortable, like I said, with being uncomfortable. And it does take practice and time, of course, to get used to that feeling, because it gives you butterflies initially. You're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. It's like when I first met Spencer, he loves roller coasters. Like, he is a thrill seeker, and I don't mind roller coasters. Like, it's not heights that I'm afraid of. It's just the intensity that those roller coasters, bring you up and down at, that makes me uncomfortable. But when I met him, he wanted to, one of the things that he spoke about, it was only his second year in San Antonio, and he hadn't been at Six Flags yet, and he wanted to go. And so, he brought up the idea to me, and at that point in our relationship, he had no idea that I was not a huge fan of roller coasters. But I faked it till I made it. I was like, okay. And so I agreed to going on a date with him and some friends of ours to Six Flags. And I kid you not, I got on every roller coaster for as long as I could, until my head actually started hurting. But I took him for the team. I literally just put the bravest hat I had on and did all these things. And he did not know that I was so uncomfortable each and every time. Oh my God. I just remember you're going up, up, and it's like click, 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 click. And I just be smiling, I got this. And I didn't want to show him that I was uncomfortable in that situation. And then so it was actually really fun and rewarding, because I remember every time I got off, I'd be like, wow, I did it, and that would give me more confidence to go on to the next one. I'm like, all right, I just lived through that one. I'm going to live through the next one, But during the time that we were on those rides, I would tell myself, open your eyes, embrace the moment. You chose to get on this thing, make the most out of it. So I'd be like, but yeah, later on is when I ended up telling him, hey, that's actually not really my thing. And so now, he, respects that about me. But I'm always super proud of myself. I've proven to him I can do it. And we've gone to multiple theme parks since then. And every time we go to a theme park, I'll get on 1 to, I'll say I'll get on 3 to 5. 3 to 5, just to, share those experiences, that time with him, But after that, I send him off with his friends, and I'll go chill in the playing area with the games that are on the floor, the darts and the, more of the carnival games, I'll tell him, all right, Spence, I got, my 3 or 5 out of the way for you. I'm a champion. I'm going to go step away now. So yeah, just embracing that, living life, just not being afraid, to do things that I necessarily am not comfortable in. There's been a lot of growth in those experiences, just trusting God, trusting the process, trusting the environment that you're in, that you are going to learn from each and everything that you do. Conversations that I've had with my family lately, sometimes they don't always agree with everything that I might say, or not necessarily that. They don't always, some of the things I might say, or how I approach certain situations, they, wouldn't necessarily do the things that I do, and that's okay, and I think I've spoken a little bit about this before. It's just the way I live life isn't necessarily the way they would live life, and that's all right. And I have done my best to have those conversations with them, and I thank God every day that they're really supportive and understanding. And I come from a really open-minded family, and I'm so grateful for that because, yeah, like my grandmother is very traditional in the way that she thinks. And so her, me making these videos makes her uncomfortable. She's like, oh my God, like there's so much out, you're putting so much out there, and it makes her nervous. But what I love about her is she's respected, like, hey, but at the end of the day, like, she knows my message and she knows that I'm doing this from my heart. And so even though it makes her uncomfortable, it's not something, she would never do this ever. She respects that that this is me and this is the way I'm choosing to live life and what I'm doing with my life at the moment. And she has embraced it, and I appreciate her for that, and her just loving me because I'm choosing to put more love out in the world. And so, yeah, that's her, choosing to be uncomfortable in a situation, like she, even though she doesn't, like I said, she would never do this. She respects and loves me for doing it, even though she didn't initially because it made her uncomfortable. So, yeah, it's like they're not always easy conversations to have, but ultimately, like I said, if your heart's in the right place, you can really reach people. And I think once people realize that your message is coming from your heart and you're doing things with love and good intent, that even if it's something that they wouldn't necessarily do, they respect you for doing it your way. Because you're not harming anyone, that's for sure. I'm not harming anyone, I'm just here to give away things and love you guys and share my life lessons with you guys. But yeah, going back to, like I said, what North Star is and what Spencer does every day. His job is, and I did it last summer, for a short time period. His job is, knocking on doors, and so he's constantly putting himself in situations that are uncomfortable, and he's approaching people obviously at times where they're not necessarily comfortable. Like you're at home and you have someone knock on your door and you're like, what the heck? Like this is my private bubble. And so what I love about North Star is they coach everyone on how to speak with people and really just connect with people and find, what they find to be important in life, what value they can bring to their life, and just really servicing them. So we have an amazing group of men out here that they are not your average sales guys. Technically, I mean, if they are filling out a resume, yes, what they do is sales, but the way that they are coached is far from sales. It's all about how they communicate, which is why they're so great. They're amazing listeners. And I've loved getting to be in this environment because my personality, is I'm very chatty and very, quick on my feet and very, Max, for instance, he'll tell you on Monday, like everything that I do is at a speed of 1,000, that's just because I'm like, let's go. But this job, what I do, this environment that I'm in has forced me to, be uncomfortable and change, my way of thinking for a little bit. Like, whoa, like slow things down. Are you listening? Like really listen to people. And that was uncomfortable at the beginning for me because I was so used to, doing things, a certain way. And now, that I have been around, this environment for, such a period of time, I have practiced like slowing down and really just listening to what people have to say. And the words that come out of my mouth, and it's all been good for me. Like I needed this environment to teach me that, like, hey, like just take a moment, things are going to be okay. And because I've been in this environment and I have practiced, these new things that I've learned, I feel better every day. I feel like a better person. I feel like I am a better sister, friend, girlfriend. Like my personality has always been, put other people in front of me, growing up, I was a real, like, I wasn't necessarily a leader. I am now, but I was more of a, I was a pushover for sure because I wasn't comfortable with saying no. But now I'm okay with saying no because I know that I'm not saying no just to be mean or because I don't want to hear what you have to say. Like if I ever say no to something, there's, you know, a solid reason behind it. And now I know how to say no in a way that isn't like aggressive or offensive or anything like that. So yeah, just, you know, it's all taken time and practice, and I'm happy to be where I'm at now with that. But one of the guys that I was talking to this morning, it's his first year out here, and he was, you know, he admitted to having he was struggling, you know, that he admitted that the job currently, the way he's feeling every day, he hasn't been feeling his best, and we had a little heart-to-heart with him, and he was saying that his parents, you know, don't want him out here, and, you know, he has friends that are doing things differently back home that don't agree with him being out here, and, you know, his parents would rather him, you know, do real estate right now than knock on doors, and he was having a hard time getting all those opinions out of his head. You know, they were making him uncomfortable, and then after we were talking, I asked him, what is it? Because if you're not doing this job specifically for yourself, then it is a waste of time, and you will, you know, drag your feet every day. It's not fun at all. You literally have to be out here because you want to be out here. That's the only way that you're going to be successful in any area of life, actually, is anything that you do or chase or pursue, you know, do it because you're passionate about it. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's going to drag, you know? And there have been moments in my life where, like when I was a bank teller, I knew I wasn't going to do that the rest of my life. And at the time, you know, I made the most out of it. I thought, well, if this is what I'm doing, I'm going to be the best at it, you know? But anyway, so I asked him, you know, what would you be doing with your life other than, like, if you weren't doing this? Or, because obviously he admitted he didn't want to go into real estate the way his parents wanted to. And he's been, you know, basically living life to please others. And I wanted to bring that to light. I was like, so what would you be doing if it was totally up to you? If everyone's opinions, you know, didn't exist, what would you be doing? And he said, actually, I would like to go into theater. And I was like, bam, that's it. That's what you need to be doing then, you know? So we gave him our 2 cents, and we said, you know what, buddy? Like, at the end of the day, no matter what you do in life, you're not going to be able to please everybody, you know? And as you recognize that this is your life, this is your one opportunity, you know, to make the most out of every day that God gives you, then go chase after your dreams. And say you go, you know, you pursue theater and you decide that theater ultimately isn't your thing. Well, at least you tried it, and you can say that, you know, you did it, and you can go on with life with no regrets, you know? And so I encourage everyone to do that. Like, look at what you're doing. Are you really happy in what you're doing every day? And even if, you know, find out what really makes you excited, what you're passionate about, and chase that, you know? Even if your friends and your family don't agree with it, that's okay. What makes you happy at the end of the day? And if you're really living life for yourself, and you're, you know, working whatever you do, and you do it from your heart, it's so fulfilling. And I really feel like it will change your life. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable because you're going to have all these opinions and things happen that you haven't experienced before. And, but that's what keeps it exciting, you know? Going back to the beginning, I want to encourage everyone to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know, you'll hear me speak about that, you know, when it comes to fitness. Everything about fitness and health is uncomfortable. It's not always something, you know, I don't always want to eat that, but I know it's good for me. You know, I don't always, one thing, my aunts, shout out to you, Tia Marisa, my family growing up, my dad's from Mexico, and so my mom would cater to what my dad liked as far as food. And so my mom's an amazing cook, and she would make the most amazing Mexican dishes all the time. But that's what my dad was comfortable with. And so my mom's favorite food is Italian food, you know, and when she would make Italian dishes, she would serve them to my dad, and my dad would look at them and he would say, you know, ¿qué es esto? ¿Un invento? Because he didn't know what it, you know, he knew what it was, but it wasn't something that he was comfortable eating. And so he would make a joke about it, like, what is this, an invention? Because it wasn't Mexican food, you know? And mom would say, no, eat it, it's good. And so that was my dad getting out of his comfort zone. But I was going somewhere with that. But yeah, like, oh, that's what I was saying. So my Aunt Marissa, she would say, you have to try everything once, because like I said, I grew up in a household that had all this Mexican food in it all the time. And so when I would go visit my aunt, her and my uncle would travel a lot when I was a kid. And I remember the first time I had Thai food, I'd never had it in my life, but because I love and I trust my aunt, she said, try everything once. And if you don't like it after you try it, well, you don't have to have it anymore, but at least you tried it. So again, there's that mentality of get uncomfortable for a second and try it. You're not going to know if you like it or not if you don't try it, And so I would do that. And I've taken that attitude towards everything now, is try it once. You never know. You never know what you are going to end up liking. And sometimes it takes you, even me, multiple times to try it before I realize, like, hey, that actually is something I wouldn't mind doing more, or something I wouldn't mind having more in my life, So yeah, like I said, I encourage everyone to just, take that challenge on and just get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because the more that you're able to embrace it, the more you're able to grow, listen to people's thoughts and opinions, even if they aren't like yours, really listen before you speak. Food, it can apply to food, it can apply to your job, it can apply to your dreams, all the things. I mean, just getting uncomfortable in all aspects of life. And like I said, as long as you do things from your heart and your intentions are good, the good Lord above will bless you in everything that you do. He has with me, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for it. So I actually had, this is what I'm going to finish with. I had, the other day, earlier in the week, I think it was on Tuesday actually, I was in the Starbucks drive-thru getting my morning coffee, and I have this guy, the line around Starbucks that day was pretty long, and so I'm in the middle of this line, but this guy, I realized later on why he chose me out of all the other cars, pulls up, next to my car, and he's like, roll your window down. And I was like, I don't know, like, why are you stopping me out of everyone else, And I just kind of I did roll it down. I was like, I'm in a public place, so whatever I got to lose here. So I got uncomfortable, and I rolled it down. I was like, yes, sir, and he was probably my age, maybe a little bit younger. And he was like, where are you from? Are you from here? And I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, I can't even lie and pretend that I am from here, because my license plate says Arizona, So I was like, no, sir, I said, I'm not. And he says, you work here? And I said, right now, yeah. And he says, you alone out here? And I said, nope. He's asking these questions, and he was like, oh, okay, well, it's just because I have these $50 worth of food stamps, and I wanted to give them to someone who I thought might need them, and I saw that you were from out of town. So again, I luckily we were on the same page on that. And I said, oh no, man, I appreciate it. I'm good though. There's probably someone else out there, who needs it more than I do anyway. So he was like, hey, I appreciate that, and God's gonna bless you for that. And I was like, yeah, man. And then, I don't know, I felt inclined, he had good energy, so I felt inclined to tell him I loved him, and that wasn't wrong, because he had, like I said, he had good intentions. And so before he drove off, I was like, well, I love you anyway, man, thank you for asking and having my back like that. And he was like, you know what, I love you too. And I was like, thank you, and he's like, you're gonna have a blessed day, God loves you. I said, God loves you too. And we both rolled up our windows, and he went his way, and I, went further in the Starbucks drive-thru line. But that was an experience that I'm by myself as a female. If I overthought it, I could have easily, I wasn't comfortable at the beginning, but I chose to get uncomfortable for a second, and just trust that God was going to have my back, and the people around me, there was enough people around me that, I trusted that I would be okay. But ultimately it ended up being a harmless conversation, and so yeah, that was another just relevant example of me being uncomfortable, and ultimately, had nothing to lose. So yeah, everybody, do something today that you wouldn't normally do. Ask a question that you wouldn't normally ask. Learn something that you wouldn't normally seek to learn, and you'll be blessed with this new growth. I guarantee it. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today. And like I said, ladies, again, I'm going to show you one more time. Hair, no frizz. Oh, I just love love this. And I've had a hat on today, which, by the way, thank you, Northstar, for these badass hats. We got these 2 days ago, and so I was excited to wear it today. But anyway, yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend, and do great things. Keep an open mind. Work from your heart. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. There's a lot of growth and change that needs to happen in this world, and the only way that we are going to get there, guys, is if we get uncomfortable and do things, like I said, work from your heart. So we got this. I really do believe we got this. And I love you all very much, and I'm excited to see y'all on Monday. Like I said, we're going to have Max Cupids in the house on Monday. So yeah, I will see all of y'all then. Have a great weekend, and remember to be the light in your life and everyone else you surround yourselves with. All my love to each and every single one of you. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.